grand slam. That really broke things open for Florida State and allowed them to get the victory.
Carson Gordon, her 8th home run of the season. Florida State 11-1 in 5 innings. Bet you the Irish will be getting ready today to come back and win Game 2. Let's take you down to the field. And in the circle, Mackenzie Herzog. She gets another opportunity. 3-1 on the year. Not a lot of innings, just 19 in the 3rd innings pitch. She's battled some injuries this year, but she does a nice job controlling the zone. What else does she have to do today?
Yeah, I think getting ahead early on these Notre Dame hitters is going to be key for Mackenzie Herzog. Getting ahead in the count, using that off speed and that rise curve combo to keep these Notre Dame hitters off balance and keep them off the base paths.
Herzog had a mixed bag out in Arizona. She had a really strong outing against Grand Canyon. 2 innings of shutout ball, but against the top 10 ranked Arizona Wildcats, she did not last more than a third of an inning, as that lineup can really hit out in the Pac-12, and she's a freshman learning her way.
Right, exactly. Arizona's a really tough team, and playing at that stadium, at Hillenbrand Stadium out there in Tucson, is really, really tough, especially as a freshman. You're coming into a hostile environment. Mackenzie Herzog, that was really kind of her first big start of the year. I'm interested to see how she kind of responds with the more innings that she gets, how her maturity and her demeanor in the circle kind of develops throughout the year.
And here's Allie Wester ready to attack. She's in a 1-1 count, fouls that one off. It's 1-2.
And if Notre Dame's going to have a better result offensively than they did yesterday, Allie Wester is going to be the key. You see that .444 batting average, a veteran senior leader on this team. She's going to need to get on base. She's going to need to set the table and set the tone for the rest of this Notre Dame lineup.
Wester 0 for 3 in Game 1. She's in a 1-2 hole. Does a nice job of laying off that one. What is the key there, Haley, for someone who is a slap hitter that runs up in the batter's box? How do you know when to lay off?
Well, it's very difficult. I think one of the keys to slapping is controlling your feet in the box. You don't want to try to steal first base. You kind of want to walk through, pick up the spin, pick up the speed of the pitch, and you want to poke something depending on where the shortstop's playing. What she's reading right now is the distance between Callie Harrod over at shortstop and Sydney Sherrill over at third base. She's trying to find a hole that she can just poke the ball through.
Full count, Herzog to Wester. Slaps at it, sends it in the air. Casas under it and makes the grab. One up, batter up, one away for Herzog. There you see Casas, Danny Morgan, Elizabeth Mason. They join her in center and in right. Zoe Casas, the senior, is another senior at shortstop, Callie Harrod. Sydney Sherrill, who's done an admirable job of moving from second to third this season to fill for Jesse Warren. Noah Gordon Shellnut round out the Seminole infield. Looking for a strike. She's got one there. Herzog sporting the face mask that Seminole fans have come to see Megan King sport. If it works for her, it might work for Mackenzie.
Absolutely. You see the face mask coming on a lot around college softball just for safety reasons. I mean, they're so close to the plate. The bats are hot. These hitters, really across the board in college softball, have only gotten better and are only going to continue to get better. And a lot of pitchers feel like it gives them a little bit more confidence knowing that, you know, they don't have to worry about a line drive coming right back at them.
Get out of deep to right field, give it a ride at the warning track and making a catch. Well done there from Elizabeth Mason. Had to twist and turn, but eventually got herself square, found the ball, and made a nice grab.
Yeah, it's a great play out there by Elizabeth Mason. That ball is taking you, it's going away, it's tailing towards the line. Initially, she takes the wrong angle. She adjusts really quick, and she's obviously really excited about making that catch.
Pitch on the outside corner. Today's umpiring crew. Home plate, Philip Friels. At first, it's David Reinecker. And at third, Jim Cooper. Looking for the outside corner, and she's got it. Philip Friels, a little bit of a delayed strike call, but I'm sure down on the field you can hear him yell it out loud.
Oh, definitely.
Prior to the arm going up.
Definitely. And if you're Herzog, that's going to be a key pitch that you want to get called throughout this game. You want to get that strike zone as wide as you possibly can get it. whatever that umpire behind the plate's calling, if he's calling that a strike, let's see if we can test the waters a little bit, maybe go another ball off, 2 balls off, and see if he can call that to get ahead of these Notre Dame hitters.
2-1 pitch coming to Kate Brooks. Hitters count. Offers at it, fouls it back, just missed that one. Brooks, the senior, out of Burbank, California. Gaudy number. She hit 9 home runs in 2018, has already surpassed that here. 10 home runs, 371 average. 1 for 2 yesterday. Smokes this one to the right side. Great hands from Noah. And she puts Brooks and the Irish away. Herzog goes 1, 2, 3. Nothing going for Notre Dame in the top of the first. Florida State will look to get on the board here in their opening frame of play. Peyton Tidd, the freshman, impressive freshman, 7-3 on the year, 56 innings pitched, and she's come in right away and has been outstanding for Coach Gump's team.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Gump this week, she said, I've thrown her in the fire, and she's responded really well. You see those numbers there. I mean, very impressive so far to start out her career at Notre Dame. Key for her today is going to be eliminating the walks against a tough-hitting Florida State lineup. You don't want to give them any free passes. You want to make them earn their way on base, attack the zone early, get ahead, get into, 0-1, 0-2 type of counts, and try to keep these Florida State hitters off balance with a changeup.
Alexis Holloway struggled yesterday to stay ahead of the count, and Florida State made her pay over and over again. But today's a new day. Peyton Tidd, the freshman out of Vista, California. Notre Dame over 15 players from the state of California. As Herod shows bunt and misses. It's 0-1. Here's how the Seminoles will attack. Herod, Gordon, Sherrill, Mason, Morgan Casas, Cassie Davis in the lineup here today. Shellnut and Herzog. Florida State leads the NCAA in home runs and in slugging percentage.
And look at those batting averages. I mean, just taking a look down 1 through 9, one hitter's below a 300 batting average. That's unheard of. Absolutely incredible. It's remarkable. Shows the discipline and the raw power that this lineup has. And that starts with Callie Herod, 451 on the year, 9 home runs, 563 on base percentage. Absolutely insane.
Herod watches this one down low. It's 2-1. Yesterday, Herod 1 for 3, had the big home run. And how important was that home run? As soon as Notre Dame gets any type of confidence, any type of momentum, Florida State answers right back and squashes it immediately.
Yeah, that's huge. And if you're a leadoff hitter, that's exactly what your job is. Your job is to, hey, if someone comes out and scores on us in the top of the first inning, it's your job as the leadoff hitter to set the tone, break that momentum that the other side has. And Callie Herod did it with one swing of the bat yesterday, taking an elevated changeup out to deep center field.
Second team All-ACC member 2 seasons ago. Well on her way to first team All-ACC honors this season.
I would definitely say.
Just misses the outside corner. Tidd wanted that one, as did Shelby Gray.
That's going to be crucial. If Peyton Tidd continues to go to that draw ball, like you said, you want to get a good feel for the umpire's strike zone early on in this game, see if you can expand it a little bit. I don't think that's a bad pitch to Callie Herod right there, 2-2, knowing the power that she has. You want to keep the ball down in the zone as much as you possibly can.
Full count offering. Well, that's a beautiful off-speed pitch. Herod waves through it. Was probably looking for something a little bit harder. Strikeout number
Absolutely.
1 for Tidd.
Amazing pitch right there by Peyton Tidd, the freshman coming in right away against Callie Herod, throwing a changeup with 3-2, a 3-2 count. Shows how much confidence that she has in that pitch. But in order to set up that pitch, she did a really good job of that batter getting ahead early on in the count to kind of open up her toolbox with what she could throw.
And Tidd, just a 2.63 ERA this season. Is that pitch catches the outside corner, lower quadrant to Carson Gordon. In high school last season, 133 innings pitched, .47 ERA.
.47 ERA, absolutely incredible. Coach Gump's really, really excited about her coming in and contributing a lot of innings for this Notre Dame team. Really a team that had to rely a lot on Alexis Holloway last year. They're really excited about being able to split innings, and they feel like they have 2 pitchers that they're really confident in and they can go to. And she talks very highly of Peyton Tidd about her demeanor in the circle, on the mound. She's a competitor. She's a bulldog. And I think the defense and the offense really kind of feeds off of that and the tone that she sets in the circle.
You just see that composure. Stone cold face is Coach Gumpf. What a job she's done. All-time win leaders in school history, and that's a school that's had a lot of really good coaches. Muffet McGraw, of course. Notre Dame women's basketball has been at an elite level, and now in her 18th season.
I think anytime you're mentioned with Muffet McGraw, I think you're doing something right.
Over 700 wins. They've made 20 consecutive NCAA tournaments every single year that she's been the person in charge, and Notre Dame looking to find their footing here in the ACC. Florida State's been tough, number one. Notre Dame used to winning the Big East year in and year out. Looking for the outside corner, not able to get it, and there is a walk as Carson Gordon runs down to first. And that's what Tid wants to avoid, as now she'll have to go through the heart of the order of Sherrill, Mason, and Morgan.
If you're Peyton Tid right now, you're relying a lot on that lower half of the strike zone. You're not in a bad position right now. A ground ball could just as easy get you a double play and get out of this inning.
That ball is smoked to center field. Hit it well. See you later.
You said it yesterday, this Florida State team, you blink an eye and they have runs on the board. Peyton Tid does a great job getting Callie Harrod as the leadoff batter out. She gives up a walk to Carson Gordon. In the first pitch, Sydney Sherrill sees something elevated, takes it out over that center field wall. I was a little bit worried about our cameraman out there in center field.
Yeah, they're a tough group.
This is a great swing by Sydney Sherrill. She steps in the box. She's ready. She's being aggressive, sees that pitch up in the zone, puts a great swing on it, and gets her team up 2-0 here in the bottom of the first.
The 2018 ACC Freshman of the Year, back at it again here in 2019, her 8th home run. She's given Florida State a 2-0 lead in the first. And you knew it was gone off the bat for Sydney Sherrill.
Right away.
She has star power. Lonnie Alameda telling us that, yes, Jessie Warren might be the best hitter in school history. She's up there, but Sydney Sherrill, she's going to have a pretty special career of her own.
She definitely is, and just the start that she got off to last year, leading the nation in doubles, tying the NCAA record for doubles in a season. She's like, I don't want 2 bases on that swing, I want all 4. She is an absolutely phenomenal softball player, so much talent, loves the game, thinks the game really well. Brings a lot of good things to this Florida State team.
0-2 to Mason. Tid misses, and now for Tid, you just got to keep your composure, bounce back. You're not out of the ball game.
Absolutely not, and you've got to just let that last at bat go, focus on the task at hand, continue to throw strikes, keep the ball down in the zone, don't let these Florida State hitters get extended on anything.
Swing and a miss. That's a nice bounce back there for the freshman as Mason goes down.
As a freshman, this is such a huge at-bat. She could easily just let this game break open, but she comes rise ball inside. Elizabeth Mason trying to get all the way upstairs with it, but just underneath it. Really big-time pitch there from Peyton Tid.
Well done by Tid as she set Mason up in that at-bat. Now to Danny Morgan, who steps in.
You notice what Peyton Tid's doing? She's continuing to go to that lower outside part of the zone against these right-handed hitters from Florida State. That's what made that strikeout pitch to Elizabeth Mason so crucial. She's pounding down and outside. She comes in with that get-out pitch up and in. It's very tough as a hitter to adjust to that when you're thinking down and out, down and out, down and out, and then all of a sudden something's coming in on your hands at 64, 65 miles an hour. Not a fun adjustment to make in the box.
Tried to get Morgan to swing at some off speed. Good eye at the plate. And it's 2-1. Hitters count for Morgan. Offers at it, fouls it back. Danny Morgan 1 for 3 yesterday in game 1, had an RBI. Now in her junior year, when she was coming out of high school, chose Florida State over Alabama and Michigan, and that's a pretty impressive offer list. As in her first season, she was 2017 ACC Tournament MVP and on the ACC freshman team.
Definitely. Florida State was really excited about getting her to come to Tallahassee. And so far, she's contributed a lot in these 3 years that she's been here.
And off to her best start, no doubt about it, in her career. 4.25 average this year. Full count offering from Tid to Morgan. Right back up the middle and through for a base hit. So give Danny Morgan her 32nd hit of 2019, and the Noles have some 2-out magic going.
Really good swing there by Danny Morgan. Gets a pitch on the outside part of the plate. Doesn't try to do too much with it. Just gets her bat enough around that ball to drive it up the middle. And give Florida State a little bit more life with 2 outs here in the first.
I got to say, I'm digging those uniforms. I know Jordan's going to have something for us later in the broadcast, but man, those are sweet.
Some sweet throwback unis.
Outside corner, not going to catch it. 1-0. Morgan does run well at first base. Swiped a pair of bags yesterday. 2 for 3 this season.
If you're Danny Morgan right here, you're looking for something down that you can steal off of, or an off speed if you can pick it up early enough. Good job on that pitch, not deciding to go. Elevated pitch.
Zoe Casas, the senior out of Rialto, California, 5'7". The left fielder having the best season of her career, above 400.
You could arguably say that about every Florida State hitter this year.
I mean, they're all hitting 400.
Yes, I mean, things have been just clicking on all cylinders for them, and we said it a lot yesterday, but 1 through 9 really in this lineup is so powerful, so dynamic.
And it's rare, Haley, to have the loss of someone like Jesse Warren, and yet everybody in the lineup took a step forward.
Right, and I think they knew that coming into this year, that they would have to replace a big bat in Jesse Warren, and that's something that coaches are going to talk about all offseason. Who's going to step up and, take that role? I think everyone kind of took that personally, and it's like, no, I need to elevate my game. Well, that's turned into one of the most powerful lineups that we see in the country.
The Noles also lost Morgan Claveman, who was really a table setter for them. That speed that she had on display. And the Noles have just found an answer. I mean, they have found every single way. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Tid gets out of the inning, but Florida State strikes first on a big-time 2-run blast. Sydney Sherrill leaves no doubt to the deepest part of the park. Noles lead as we move to the second. The Seminole Softball Complex Alumni Weekend here this weekend in Tallahassee. Florida State up to a 2-0 lead. You saw some pretty cool uniforms down on the field as we bring in the third member of our crew. Jordan's got more on exactly what Florida State's wearing.
Thanks, Aria. Well, you've noticed the throwback uniforms that Florida State is rocking for Alumni Day. Well, I asked the girls their opinion on them, and they said it's their favorite by far. There's a sense of pride when wearing them and representing all the Florida State teams that came before them. Aria?
Yeah, absolutely. Joanne Graff, who this field is named after, really established Florida State as one of the best softball programs in the country. And when you play well, you got to look good too, right?
Absolutely. And I love what the girls said about them honoring the players that had come before them. Just a testament to the tradition and the culture that was the foundation that was laid by Joanne Graff, and it's really been continued by Coach Alameda.
And oh, wow. Early in this one, I think Rochford thought she had first base. The umpire says, no, come right back.
I'm not sure if the umpire is saying that she didn't make an attempt to get out of the way, or maybe she was in the river, that space between the chalk and the plate there. Perhaps he thought that she leaned into the pitch.
Coach Gumpf wanting an explanation. She doesn't seem too upset about it. Let's take a look at this one. It's inside.
It looks like it hits off the knob of the bat there.
Gotcha.
Just got in on her hands just a little bit.
Grounds this one instead to Herod. Sturdy play by the shortstop, the senior, and there's one away. And you can usually tell on those hit-by pitches is you get a nice look at Carson Gordon. If a player reacts, if it hits your hand, it hurts.
Yes.
And so you can usually tell when a player has gotten nicked because they don't just stand there and take it without any emotion.
Yeah, and I think Rochford did a good job of trying to sell that, maybe that it did hit her hand running all the way down to first base. And if you're Notre Dame, that's exactly, you want free people on base.
Quick
if
pop
they're
up.
Give that to you.
Herod has recorded both the outs this inning, and they're quickly two away for Herzog. Much better inning for Mackenzie Herzog here to start the second.
Doing a really good job of attacking the strike zone early.
So Sweet goes down. Herzog starting to find her stride. Bonamy steps in. MK out of Hoover, Alabama. Management consulting major. Right down the middle for a strike. Bonamy off to a really nice start. 302 average. A couple of home runs. 0 for 2 yesterday, though, with a strikeout. Drives this one to left center field. She hit it pretty well. Running back to the track. It's caught. Casas flashing the wheels. And the inning is over. Zoe Casas made an outstanding play yesterday to end the game. She does it again. No runs, no hits, no errors. Mackenzie Herzog dealing for Florida State. The Seminoles have already struck thanks to Sydney Sherrill against Peyton Tidd, who's having a little powwow at the mound. Taking a look at the infield around the horn. We go Rochford, Biggio, Marino, Bonamy, and Grimm is the catcher. And in the outfield, the speedy Allie Wester, Abby Sweet in center, and Alexis Bazos. First pitch outside to Cassidy Davis. Davis, the junior out of Valrico, Florida.
Cassie Davis really one of those players that can really do it all for Florida State. She's had a lot of time in the circle as a pitcher. Really good power numbers at the plate. You don't see that a lot anymore. A pitcher that can really help herself in terms of run support. And Cassie Davis has done a good job of developing in the 3 years that she's been here at Florida State.
Watches this one a bit high, 2-1. Davis at high school was really sought after. Florida State was over the moon when they got her. Chose the Noles over Alabama and Stanford. And her two-way prowess was really appealing to Florida State. It's just taken a little bit of time for her to find her mark.
Definitely, definitely. She's got a lot of time in the circle to develop, and she's really pitched behind some quality pitchers that have come through this Florida State program. You're talking about Jessica Burrows, Megan King, Kylie Hansen last year. You see her get a hit up the middle. It's a good effort out there by the second baseman, but
that'll be ruled a hit as Davis works down. Lonnie Alameda meets her there at first base. The 2018 coaching staff of the year. And prior to that, she had won 5 straight ACC Coach of the Year honors. So the year that she doesn't win ACC Coach of the Year in 2018, she goes, whatever, we'll win National Coach of the Year.
Exactly. I mean, how can you not give it to this coaching staff? The run that they went on last year, really just piecing all of this talent together, getting the kids to buy into one common goal to play for something bigger than themselves.
I think most people would agree that as you get a look at assistant coach Travis Wilson, who has been alongside Lonnie ever since he got here, as has Craig Snyder, no one would have argued that Florida State was the best roster in softball last year. But the assistants, as you see Coach Snyder there and Coach Alameda, found a way to get them playing their best softball at the right time.
Absolutely, and that's the key to postseason success when we're talking about softball. You have these preseason tournaments that get a lot of hype. Obviously, conference play gets a lot of hype, especially in the SEC and the Pac-12. Now we're starting to see the ACC come on a little bit, but really the key to winning a national championship and making a good postseason run is just peaking at the right time 1 through 9. You need your entire roster to contribute, from your ace in the circle to your pinch runners that come in.
It's a cool little headshot, Haley.
Thanks.
I can't say I've made 3 College World Series, so that's why I don't have a headshot. That's a group that has made a Women's College World Series. They've made multiple. And then finally broke through last year with the school's first NCAA national title. Outside corner. 2-2 pitch now to Hannah Shellnut. Shellnut out of Franklin, Georgia. 4 home runs already this season. Big hack there. Tidd really has the strikeout ball working so far through 2 innings. That's already her 4th strikeout.
Peyton Tidd's doing an excellent job of mixing up all zones of the strike zone. She's going to go down to get ahead, and then she's going to finish up in the zone right here. Anna Shellnut's probably looking for something belt high. Her eyes get big when she sees a pitch coming in like that, and the movement on that pitch just jumps right over her bat. Really good out pitch there by Peyton Tidd.
Is now Herzog.
We've seen Tidd use that curveball quite a bit and her drop ball on that half of the plate to get ahead, put herself in a position where she can use all of the pitches in her tool belt, whether that's the rise, the changeup.
She's found a lot of success with the rise with 2 strikes.
Definitely.
That is a nasty pitch.
And so tough as a hitter to lay off of as well, especially with 2 strikes. You want to get yourself in a position to battle, maybe foul a pitch off here and there. You definitely don't want to get called for a strikeout looking.
Herzog, 327 this year. Did she go around? They're going to offer down to second base. David Reiniger says no, he did not. So Herzog back at the dish. She's looking to aid her own cause on the mound here today. Drives this one to left field, hit it pretty well, but Lester seems to have it measured and makes the grab. So Herzog is retired, 2 away. And that'll
Number 10,
bring us back to the top of the order as Callie Herod get another shot. Herod struck out in her first plate appearance. Does have Davis down at first. Tidd can't grab the outside corner. It's 1-0. Herod scored 2 more runs yesterday, and she's top 5 in the NCAA now in runs scored. Another swing and a miss.
So far, Callie Herod does an excellent job in this season of setting the table for this Florida State lineup. Had a strikeout in the first on a really good pitch by Peyton Tidd. It was a changeup over on the outside corner that fooled her a little bit. If you're Callie Herod right now, you probably want to take a little bit more of an aggressive approach. You see her swinging at that one.
Now 2-1. Herod 1 for 3 yesterday with that home run, as we mentioned. A couple of RBIs. And Tidd now starting to settle down a little bit. You're starting to see her get ahead of counts. Doing a nice job of making Florida State's hitters guess. Grabs the outside corner there.
And that's that same pitch that Callie Herod struck out on in the bottom of the first inning. That changeup over on the outside corner. Peyton Tidd's doing an excellent job of mixing up the counts that she's using that pitch in, keeping the hitters off balance, trying to keep them guessing while they're in the box and make them uncomfortable. See Coach Gump over there.
Works back to the same spot. This one just a little bit down and away. And it's a full count. It's a big pitch for Peyton Tidd right now. Callie Herod can really put bat on ball. And the Noles have a runner at first. 2 outs. And can Tidd get the Irish back into their dugout? Got him. Inside corner. Herod goes down again. And Tidd emphatically meets her teammates as we head to the 3rd. Florida State gets a run.
Going back home, baby. Going back home.
"15 schools all on one."
What an exciting play, really from both sides. Biggio does an excellent job of taking this pitch down the left field line. She gets her barrel out in front, puts a great swing on it. Zoe Casas misplays it at the wall. And then Biggio sees that throw kind of off from Casas coming in from left field, tries to take third, but Carson Gordon, senior leader on that defense, making a veteran play, whipping that ball over to Sydney Sherrill. And that's a big out if you're Florida State.
I don't mind the aggressive running there from Biggio. Thought that there was an errant throw. But Florida State, heavy play. They make a championship caliber play.
Absolutely. If you're Notre Dame in that situation too, you're down 2-0. A leadoff double is great. Triple would be a little bit better. And now you put yourself in a position where already got 1 out.
There's that 1-1 pitch. It's down 2-1. As I was saying right before Biggio slammed one into the wall, Mark Packer and Wes Durham, popular Sirius XM radio show. They will be the first talent that's been announced for the new ACC network in 2019. They'll have a radio show, Packer and Durham, that'll air on the network. Beautiful changeup. My goodness.
That's one of the first changeups that we've seen Herzog throw that's really kind of caught our attention, keeping that ball down, trying to freeze the hitters and keep them off balance.
Tidd trying to add to her own resume, not able to. Sherrill catches the floater. There's 2 away. Boy, what a difference that play just made for Florida State. Notre Dame could have a runner at 3rd or in scoring position at 2nd with just 1 out. Completely different situation. Instead, you look up, nobody on, 2 out.
Yeah, and this inning is all of a sudden giving Florida State even more momentum than they already had to begin with. If you're Notre Dame here, your 9-hole hitter is up. Alexis Bezos. See if you can get something started with 2 outs, put a little bit of pressure on this Florida State defense. With the speed that Bezos had, a single, it's just as good as a double if you want to be aggressive on the base pass as well. Really good table setter for Allie Webster at the top of the lineup.
.242 this season, and a nice count at 2-0. Watches that one for a strike on the outside corner. What's impressed you so far about Herzog through 2 2/3?
It was just the command of her pitches. She's around the strike zone a lot. She's not missing very big. She's keeping her pitches very consistent. She's hitting her spots. She's going right at these Notre Dame hitters. As a freshman getting your first start in conference play, it's a really big deal. You can tell that she's confident in her demeanor on the mound. Not too emotional, not too high, not too low.
Has only walked 6 batters and now over 22 innings pitched. Works a full count here as Bezos does a nice job of now putting the pressure on Herzog. Bezos 0 for 1 yesterday. An opportunity to try and reach base. Sends this one back. It'll remain a full count.
Battle X.
Seventh pitch of the at-bat. Herzog to Bezos out of Pound Ridge, New York. Up the middle, off the glove. Going to be a tough play for Sherrill. She doesn't have a play. That should go down as an infield single.
Yeah, it's a really good at-bat there by Alexis Bezos, especially with 2 outs. You want to see a lot of pitches. You've turned the lineup over. Now you've got arguably one of the best hitters in the country up to bat in Allie Webster, potentially starting a 2-out rally right here.
And officially ruled a hit. Bezos at first. Gives way to Webster. Outside corner, strike 1. Webster's average down now to .439. Still looking for her first hit of the series. 0 for 3 in game 1. Offers it this one, she runs well. Sherrill guns it across, and the inning's over. Had to get that one right, and she did just. One of the great traditions in college sports, the war chant, bellowing and echoing throughout the Seminole softball complex. A packed house here on a Saturday. Temps have dropped just a little bit, as it has been warm all week, and today jackets are out, but the passion is still high in Tallahassee. You see fans lining up outside the left field wall, looking for some souvenirs perhaps.
Absolutely.
And of course, fans of all ages taking in softball, a sport that has really come on in the last couple of years. An outstanding event, an outstanding product for really ages of all kind.
Yeah, it's so exciting to watch. It's such a great atmosphere, no matter where you're at in the country, whether that's Florida State, you're at these SEC schools, Florida, Alabama, wherever it may be. The game is so entertaining. It's fast-paced, and people are really just falling in love with it. And you can see that in the numbers that softball is producing: ESPN ratings, attendance at the Women's College World Series, regional and super regional attendance. People love this sport, and there's a demand for it. And we've really seen it taken off.
As Carson Gordon steps in, watches a pitch. Outside, count moves to 1-1. The FSU-LSU rivalry that has been built up here over the last couple of years has been fun to watch. A little ACC-SEC showdown. Of course, Tigers fans travel as well as anyone in the country for their team. They've had some really fun battles here at Joanne Graff Field.
Absolutely. The Super Regional last year was one of the most entertaining Super Regionals that I've seen in recent years. And that rivalry, those two teams, for some reason, always find themselves playing each other in the postseason. They're very familiar with each other. Very similar style of play as well. Always have really strong pitching. rely on that timely hitting and scrapping runs across the plate. Florida State's power numbers have taken off a little bit more so this year, but very similar in terms of style of play and approach to the game.
You saw Lonnie Alameda just a moment ago as Tidd continues to try and work herself back into the count at 3-1. Alameda told us after that loss to LSU 2 years ago, in which the Noles won Game 1 of the Super Regional, and then Wall Jasper and Hoover were outstanding to get that team into Oklahoma City, Florida State came back with a chip on its shoulder, and they didn't necessarily use that as momentum as Gordon works the walk. They didn't use that as a revenge game. They said, this is a completely different team. We're not the same team we were a year ago. Let's focus on us. And the Seminoles able to break through and get back to OKC and, of course, hang a banner, as we now know.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. And, I mean, you're down Game 3. It's win or go home at that point. Win, go to the World Series, lose, your season's over. For them to be able to focus on them and not have to channel any of that sort of revenge factor, that says a lot about their approach to the game. And ultimately worked out really well for them. Don't know how much better it could work out. National championship's probably the icing on the cake of that one.
Yeah, if you figure it out, let me know. What's better than a national title? Sherrill offers it this one. Fouls it back. Sherrill, of course, with the big bomb so far in this one. Her swing is the difference through 3 innings. It'll be interesting to see now how Tidd attacks Sherrill after Sherrill sent one 240 feet to straight center. Running to second base, throw down in time. And gunned at second. It's Carson Gordon. What a throw by Shelby Grimm.
That's an amazing job there by Shelby Grimm. Carson Gordon, we've talked about the aggressiveness of these Florida State base runners really all series long. Grimm does an excellent job. That pitch is outside. Beautiful throw and great job by Biggio to place that tag on Carson Gordon right before she gets her foot in there. Great execution by Notre Dame. It's a really big out.
You like pop time, Haley?
Love pop time.
Nice swing here, but right into the glove of Wester, who had it played perfectly. And now Tidd working some momentum back in her favor. 2 outs.
I'm really impressed with Peyton Tidd and the way that she's approached this game so far, especially after giving up that home run to Sydney Sherrill. Most freshmen, when you're facing a hitting team like Florida State, that could break the entire game open. Peyton Tidd's done an excellent job of continuing to attack the zone. She's staying within herself. She's staying composed. And she's continuing to come right at these Florida State hitters.
That's what Coach Gumpf told us when we met with her yesterday right before the game. She said, I'm not really worried about the results in this game. Obviously, the ACC tournament that will be held in Tallahassee later will be more important for every team in the ACC. She said, I just want to play well. Give me something to go back to South Bend thinking we are moving towards the right goal.
Yeah, and their goal is to get better every single pitch of every single game. They're about trusting the process, and they want to peak at the right time. I think you talk to coaches around the country, you're going to get a similar response in terms of, we just want to get better day by day, and we want to peak once that postseason time rolls around. And for Notre Dame, you can see that. I mean, they've played a tough schedule so far in the preseason. They open conference play with the number 3 ranked team in the country.
And for teams like Notre Dame and Florida State, I think at this point, unless meltdowns happen in conference play, they're going to make the tournament.
Absolutely.
Gumpf's already and her squad already have 3 major wins in non-conference play, and they're going to do well in ACC play.
Absolutely. They're one of the toughest opponents when you're talking about teams in the SEC, or ACC, excuse me.
Off the glove of Tidd, going to be a tough play, and no play. Have to imagine that's going to be a base hit for Elizabeth Mason, as it wasn't a give-me for Tidd at the mound. Mason does run well. Florida State has something with 2 outs.
And you've got to love the game of softball. The at-bat before that, we see Sydney Sherrill take an absolute shot to left field. It's an out. And then Elizabeth Mason gets an infield single on a ball that Peyton Tidd jams her up on. Part of what makes this game so exciting to watch.
It's a game of inches and can be a really cruel game sometimes.
Absolutely.
First pitch to Morgan is a ball. And Danny Morgan now ahead in the count. 432 batting average after that single in her first at bat.
You can tell Peyton Tidd continuing to go to that down and out part of the zone to try to get ahead on these Florida State hitters. She wants that call. You can tell it's a pitch that she really likes going to. And you can tell she wants to get ahead of these hitters. She's still staying in her aggressive mode. A little behind in the count here at 2-0, but she's not missing big, which is a key, I think, when you're facing Florida State. You want to constantly be around the strike zone.
Catches the inside corner on that one down to keep Mason honest. Grimm's already flashed that arm. And so far this year, Mason has only attempted to steal 2 stolen bases, is 1 for 2. Straight to center field. Playing it well was Sweet. Maybe had to adjust a little bit more than she initially thought to make the grab, but she does. Tidd and the Irish are out of the third. Sweet defense. The legendary Florida State volleyball coach, Cecile Reynaud. What a career she had. Leading the Seminoles over at Tully Gym, now one of our talent on ACC Network. Does a great job of color analysis on the volleyball side.
Really cool. As Florida State sporting the throwback uniforms, it's really cool to see all the support from not only softball alumni and fans, but from other sports. I think that's so crucial when you're in terms of talking about athletic department success as a whole. You need those sport coaches, whatever it be, volleyball, softball, baseball, basketball, football. You want all those coaches to kind of create a family within your athletic department. Really cool to see a legend like that come out here and support the defending national champions.
There she is. The lady who which this field is named after, the legend Joanne Graff. She has done an excellent job, as this one misses high, of letting Lonnie Alameda have her program. She doesn't want to overcrowd, and that's tough. You know, someone who this program was really built on that foundation. She has allowed Lonnie to really build this program her way, but has kept up the support tremendously.
Definitely, and I think both Coach Alameda and Coach Graff have done an excellent job of putting that relationship first and allowing this program to kind of do what it does. The fact that they've maintained that relationship for as many years as Coach Alameda has been here, and obviously the success of the program, I think, helps that. But it's really, really awesome to see. I mean, there are weekends that you'll see Joanne Graff out here more than anyone else. She's the first one in the park. She's the last one to leave. She's showing endless support for this program and for this staff, really just carrying on the legacy and the foundation that she laid.
Absolutely. You see two of the great coaches in collegiate softball. Alameda, of course, paving her own path now. And I think it's safe to say she's going to go down as one of the all-time greats in this industry as well.
Absolutely. Just the success that she's had, not only here, but in her previous stint at Stanford. You can tell she's a player's coach. The girls really love playing for her.
So now Kate Brooks steps in. Marino did an excellent job of working the walk. Herzog struggled a little bit with that at bat. 4 straight balls. And Marino is on first. Brooks pops this one back, and Shellnut grab it before it comes back onto the tarp. She cannot.
I think the fans are a little bit disappointed that ball got stuck in the tarp. They're excited to watch Shellnut catch it back down off the net. See a good little shot of that little nugget there.
Off speed, trying to get Brooks to offer.
Well, that's a great job by Anna Shellnut right there, too. That's an off-speed pitch that's in the dirt. You've got a speedy runner in Marino over on first base, blocking that ball up, helping her pitcher out. Big-time defense from Anna Shellnut.
2-2 pitch. Herzog to Brooks, the slugger. Wow, that ball is crushed. Forget about it. We're tied in Tallahassee.
We've talked about the power of Caitlin Brooks really all series long. She hadn't really quite broken out of it yet. She gets a pitch that's over the white part of the plate, puts a great swing on it. And, man, I think you knew right off the bat that that one was going for a ride. I'm not so sure that it's landed yet. That was out of here in a hurry. See, this pitch is going to be a little bit in. She steps in the bucket. She clears her hands, stays inside the ball, and absolutely crushes it to left center.
Heads up, fans out there. A no-doubter off the bat. Kate Brooks, 11th home run of the year. And we are tied in Tallahassee. Here come the Irish. And that is huge for Notre Dame in this game. I mean, yesterday things got out of hand so quickly. And then today, this is the type of squad, though, that Gumpf has come to be proud of so far this year. They keep battling. They're worried about themselves. They're not worried about the result. And when you have hitters like Kate Brooks, it makes your job a lot easier.
Yeah, it definitely makes your job a lot easier when you have a pitcher like Kate Brooks. I think we're going to see an illegal pitch called here from the umpire. Looks like we're going to have a coaches conference, perhaps.
I promise you I didn't hear any lightning or thunder. I didn't see any lightning or hear any thunder.
I did not either.
Gosh, I hope this is not weather related. Something's being explained right now. I didn't quite catch it. Did you, Haley?
I did not.
Philip Friels and Deanna Gumpf talking it over. It looked like he motioned out with his hands.
It looks like he stuck his hand out, signaling either an illegal pitch or perhaps a premature pitch by Herzog.
And Coach Gumpf is clearly not happy, as Rochford still trying to figure out if she still can bat.
I'm not sure if Rochford maybe called time too late while she was in the box, and to give the umpire enough time to signal time to Herzog in the circle before she threw the pitch. Maybe that's what this discussion is about. Again, if it's not weather related.
Don't jinx it. Friels continuing to have a conversation with Rochford and Gumpf. A delay now of a couple minutes. It looks like we're ready to play some more softball. Look at the schedule that Notre Dame has played so far this year. They have had some success, too, against some really good teams from a variety of conferences.
They have. They did a great job down there in that Clearwater tournament. Got a lot of exposure to a lot of really tough teams, Oklahoma, Tennessee, a win over Oklahoma State, and a win over number 3 Washington in extra innings. I think if you talk to Coach Gumpf, I think that's one of those big statement wins that really got everyone on the roster's confidence up when you're talking about beating a team that was in the national finals last year in Washington. Very, very talented team. To steal a game from them, really big deal for this program, just to set them on the right path, and you can tell that they're getting better day by day.
What a difference an inning makes. You see the life has returned as Rochford pokes this one into right field. Easy play out there for Mason, and there's one away. So I don't know, that we never really got an explanation for what happened. In the end, nothing really changed. I looked over to the press box to our left to get something from the official scorer, and he just threw his hands up at me. So we continue here in Tallahassee. There's one away.
That's a really good job right there by Mackenzie Herzog, giving up the home run to tie the game. You come back, you get the next out right away.
This is the outside corner.
Continuing to trust your pitches. This game is a long way from over. Still just now at this point, it's a 0-0 ball game. You continue to trust your stuff, continue to rely on your defense, and trust every pitch that Coach Alameda is calling over there from the dugout.
Right down the pipe, strike one. And how big would it be for Notre Dame to take the lead here in the fourth?
Pretty sure Coach Gumpf would be pretty excited about that. That would be trusting the process.
Sweet puts down the ball. She runs really well, thrown into right field. An excellent job, though, by Mason of covering and backing her first baseman, as that keeps Sweet at first. Not sure they would have had her anyway.
Well, I'm going to steal a pun from you, Ari, right here. That was a sweet bunt by Sweet. Really sneaky, perfect touch. Really puts the pressure on Anna Shelnut to come out of behind the plate. Looks like Shelnut slips a little bit as she tries to make that throw. But if you're a young outfielder out there watching, Elizabeth Mason's in the perfect position to back up that throw. That's the difference between having a runner on first base and a runner in scoring position right there. So outfielders
Perhaps
make
even
sure.
third.
Perhaps even third, exactly right. So outfielders make sure that bunt coverage, ground ball coverage, whatever it is, you're in your backup position. Mason does an excellent job of that.
And I think Jordan down on the field was able to get an explanation of what the conference was about. Jordan, what can you add for us?
Thanks, Aria. Yeah, so Florida State pitcher balked, and actually Notre Dame's batter called the balk but stepped out of the box. So that resulted in a double violation and the delay right there, Aria.
Okay, interesting, Jordan. Thank you for that. That is, that makes sense.
You gotta love softball, right?
Double violation.
Double violation.
You don't see that every day.
Well, I think a double violation, too, leads to double confusion from both coaching staffs there as well. Want to get a good explanation. And thankful it wasn't weather related.
Yeah. The forecast, interesting for the next 2 days, but we're still here. We're cranking. Fourth inning action. Right back to the pitcher. Takes an interesting roll. Florida State's not going to have it play. That ball had some English on it as it had some outward spin and cut away from Herzog in the circle. And as soon as it got to second base, you had no shot.
Well, you notice Notre Dame, the momentum of that Kate Brooks home run has led to them creating opportunities for themselves with these next couple of hitters. You see Abby Sweet getting a bunt down right there, a little infield single by M.K. Bonamy. And now Notre Dame's threatening again. You've got a runner in scoring position, another runner on first base. There's only one out in this inning. If you're Mackenzie Herzog right here, really need to make sure that you get this big out. Look for her to throw something on the inner half of that plate. Maybe get this hitter to ground to Sydney Sherrill for an opportunity for a third to first double play.
You can just see a loose dugout now for Notre Dame. They're having some fun. They're now out hitting Florida State 5-4 in this game. Herzog still has a chance to get Florida State out of it. Runners on first and second for the Irish. Quick swing, and that'll be perfect for Herzog. One pitch and one out immediately. Beautiful
pitch. Like I said, she attacked that inner part of the plate. She really did a good job right there of jamming up Quinn Biggio. Gets the infield fly. That's a really big time out there for Mackenzie Herzog. Now you're in a position where you're facing the 8-hole hitter in the lineup. It's Peyton Tidd, trying to provide herself some own run support. This is a really big out here for Herzog.
Tidd has an opportunity right now to provide herself some insurance, quite literally. Can help her own cause. Through the left side, Sherrill. Beautiful play, absolutely perfect. Tags the runner and the inning is over. The Irish, via the bat of Kate Brooks, we're tied in Tallahassee. Bomb squad at Joanne Graff Field. Knowles and Irish, we move to the... Casas, Davis, and Shelnut due up for Florida State. Having fun here in Tallahassee, the YMCA playing over the PA. How can you not have fun when you've got two of the ACC's best teams, the two top teams according to the preseason polls, going at it? And this is a huge game for Notre Dame. If they can somehow even the series up, you've got a rubber match tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. This is crucial right here for Notre Dame. Interesting to see how the fans are going to kind of respond to maybe play into getting some momentum back on the Seminoles side. But yeah, we've got ourselves a really good ball game here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
The Irish have the momentum. Jordan, what you got?
Thanks, Aria. Well, I had a chance to speak with Deanna Gumpf about this particular Notre Dame team and what she's learned about them so far. She said this team genuinely loves playing together, and she's noticed that once they stop focusing on their opponent and just focus on themselves, this team plays better, and that's what their plan is this weekend. They realize Florida State is a really good team who can do it all, but the less they focus on them, the better they will play, and that is the goal for the Irish in this series. Aria?
I think Jordan hit the nail on the head as Coach Gumpf really, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, just really wants to see the process go the way that her program has built on its foundation. You're building towards postseason.
Absolutely.
And you have an opportunity this weekend to play another fantastic team on a schedule that you've already played really good teams all over.
Right, absolutely. And I think playing that tough schedule early on in the preseason has really helped the overall mindset of this Notre Dame team. They're not intimidated. They weren't intimidated yesterday. Even though things didn't go their way, they're certainly not intimidated today. They fought back. They've shown resiliency. Really impressive, I think, overall, coming from a tough game yesterday into this one today. It could be very easy to just roll over, but they have competed, and they've shown a lot of fight.
Casas works the count at 2-2. And look at those numbers. Speaking about not being intimidated, since 1994, that is a lot of wins against some really good teams.
That's very impressive, and I think that goes to show you just the leadership approach that Coach Gumpf takes, developing that tough mental attitude in all of her players. Speaking of tough mental attitudes, I think Zoe Casas took that one off her kneecap there.
I felt that one up here. Is now a pinch runner for Florida State. Deja Bush will check in.
Turning at first base, number 9, Deja Bush.
I got a slight feeling you might see a runner moving here.
Yeah.
Just a hunch.
Deja Bush, I said yesterday, I think the Florida State track coaches should recruit her with all the speed that she provides. One of Florida State's best pinch runners coming off the bench in a consistent role. And she puts so much pressure on the defense when she's on the base pass. You know you've got speed. And as a defense, that makes you a little bit more timid to make a mistake. You don't want to give her the opportunity to take an extra base, knowing that one bobble here, one bobble there could be the difference between her being at third base and her being at home.
Bush not going there. There's a strike. We'll say Grimm flashing the strong arm already once in this game. Could have Florida State second guessing as well.
Definitely, and I think if you're Deja Bush right here, you're looking for something that Peyton Tidd's throwing that's either going to be a drop ball that's angled down towards the dirt or even an off speed. We haven't seen Tidd go to that as much here in the third, fourth inning. Working the second time through the lineup, but if you're Deja Bush, you want something that you know is going to make it tough on Shelby Grimm to throw you out. Look for it here with 2 strikes. Typically, a pitcher wants to expand the zone here, so look for Deja Bush to try to swipe one.
Swing and a miss. Throw back down to first, not in time. Davis goes down. That's another strikeout. Number 6 for Tidd so far today.
We've seen Tidd go up in the zone to get these strikeouts so far in this game. This is a rise ball that Cassidy Davis she expands her strike zone a little bit too much. You see that ball as a big power hitter. You see that ball up in the zone. It makes you want to swing at it. It's so tough to lay off of. And Tidd's rise ball's got a lot of movement on it. It's jumping really well today.
First pitch offering, Shellnut sends it foul and out of play into the Seminole bullpen. That's a big out for Tidd and a nice bounce back after giving up a free pass. There's a strike on the inside corner.
Tid's doing an excellent job right now of working both sides of the plate. We saw her go that down and out pitch to most of the right-handed hitters early on in this game. You've seen as she's getting deeper in a second time through the lineup, she's continuing to come inside.
Runner going, throw down, in time again. Bush was out by a few steps. Shelby Grimm, not on my watch.
Shelby Grimm's really flashing the cannon back there behind the plate today. Deja Bush gets a late jump on this one. The ball's down and out of the zone. She picks it, scoops it, fires it to get a speedy Deja Bush. That's not something a lot of catchers can say, that they've thrown Deja Bush out on the base pass, especially in 2019.
Bush had no chance to slide. That's how much the throw beat her by.
That was truly impressive.
And Grimm erases the Seminole runner. And the momentum just continues to inch the Irish's way. Two-two pitch. Hit to center field. Sweet has it measured. Takes a step in, and the side is retired. Momentum switching towards the Irish.
For the win. 2, 3, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh yeah, the ACC network is well on its way. Great traditions all around the conference. Great action, and softball will be heavily featured this year in August and beyond as the ACC network launches. Lonnie Alameda, Deanna Gumpf going head-to-head today. 2-2 on a pair of two-run blasts. Florida State strikes in the bottom of the first, and then Notre Dame in the top of the fourth. Sydney Sherrill, Kate Brooks, the heroes so far in this one. New pitcher Cassidy Davis in the circle as Mackenzie Herzog's day is done. Cassidy Davis.
Check out the Coaches and Coffee FSU Softball Podcast. Listen and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify.
Coming into this ball game so far this year for Davis, this will be appearance number 13, 479 ERA. 19 innings, 25 hits, 14 runs, 13 of those 14 earned, 7 walks, 14 strikeouts, batters hitting .305. So now the Irish have an opportunity
Leading off for the Irish, number
to continue on that
Emma Clark.
fourth inning momentum. Emma Clark will get her first swings of the afternoon. In for Alexis Bezos. First pitch outside, 1-0. Clark was 0 for 2 yesterday. She's a freshman out of Huntington Beach, California. One-0 pitch, slap through the right side. Not going to get there is Noah. Clark runs well. And there's another single for Notre Dame.
We've seen a lot of infield singles so far since that big Kate Brooks home run. Really just a testament to the momentum that Notre Dame clearly has. Good job there by just putting the ball in play. Morgan Noah a little bit late getting over there to get it.
Number 37, Allie Wester.
And now Allie Wester, the top of the order for the Irish. So far today, it's been 5, 6, 7 that's really done the damage for Notre Dame. But Kate Brooks' two-run blast has tied the game up, and now the Irish are threatening to take the lead. They have their leadoff runner aboard. The Seminoles opting to go with Cassidy Davis now in the circle.
Cassidy Davis is going to give you a completely different look than Mackenzie Herzog. Davis is going to throw the ball really hard.
Sherrill does a nice job there. Puts the runner away, but moving to second was Clark. Now there's a runner in scoring position for the Irish with one away. You have to like what Wester was trying to do there. Notre Dame has really tried to put the pressure on Florida State today in the infield. They've had a lot of success with it.
Man, Allie Wester does her job there. Her job is to move that runner from first base to second base, get the opportunity for Marino and Brooks to maybe come up with a runner in scoring position. Wester's done a good job so far this series of putting ball in play, but when you're hitting it over there to Sydney Sherrill at third base, I mean, that's tough.
As good as it gets. Jordan, what you got for us?
Thanks, Aria. Now, I just spoke with Notre Dame's head coach, Deanna Gumpf, about how they can get a little more offense going now up against Cassidy Davis. She tells me we have to be on time. This girl throws gas. It's a whole new ball game now, and the Irish have no option but to get that timing right.
Number 27, Katie Marino.
So Jordan and Haley are in agreement
Definitely.
that Cassidy Davis will bring the cheese. A little bit of miscommunication, though, is Shellnut not able to handle the pitch. And now a runner in scoring position down at third base, 60 feet away.
And you don't see that a lot from Anna Shellnut, that miscommunication back there. She's usually very solid behind the plate.
This one to third. Sherrill checks the runner and fires across. As confident and smooth of a play as you'll see at third base. And there are two away. What a big play by the sophomore.
Can't say enough about what Sydney Sherrill brings to this Florida State team, whether it's with the bat, you saw that big two-run bomb in the first, but with her glove, she's taken a lot of infield singles and opportunities away from Notre Dame's offense so far in this series. Really working that hot corner.
And Florida State's taking no chances with Caitlin Brooks.
Can't say I blame them here. You've got two bases open, two outs. If you're Cassidy Davis right here, you're just playing catch with Anna Shellnut. That's all you're trying to do. Give Brooks her free base, and then take your chances with Rochford.
And you've seen it now on the men's side where you don't even have to throw 4 times anymore. You can just opt to put the runner at first. Do you like that, or are you more of a traditionalist and want to see the pitcher make 4 pitches?
I'm more of a traditionalist. I think the pitcher should have to make those 4 pitches. You shouldn't just be able to say, hey, I want this runner on first base. Because you've got a runner on third base. If that ball gets away, that's a run, and I think that should be rewarded to the offense, especially if you're going to take your chances and not pitch to a hitter.
And you've seen it on some highlights where a pitcher misses their spot on the intentional walk and someone smokes one out of the ballpark.
Exactly.
And now Rochford has the opportunity to be the hero for Notre Dame in the 5th. The Irish will make a quick switch.
Number 6, Shelby Grimm.
As Grimm will run to first base.
Now batting number 55, Melissa Rochford.
Runners on first and third. Rochford grounded out in the 2nd, popped out in the 4th. Grimm does not go. Strike 1 is the call.
If you're Rochford here, knowing that they intentionally walk Kate Brooks in front of you to get to you, you're licking your chops right now, wanting this pitch. You need to make sure you get your front foot down early because, like you said, Cassidy Davis just throws so hard. Make sure your timing's right. Cassidy Davis is going to provide the power. You don't need to take a big swing with Cassidy Davis throwing as hard as she does. All you got to do is get your barrel there, be on time, really extend through the pitch.
1-1 pitch from Davis. Swing and a miss. Runner goes down to second. Florida State not going to worry about her. Let the runner get into scoring position as the most important runner is down at third.
If you're Florida State right now, too, you're focused on the hitter that's in the box. You're not really too worried about having 2 runners in scoring position right now, especially with the count 1 and 2. You're 1 great pitch away from being out of this inning.
1-2 pitch. Runner coming home. Irish. No, they're not going to take the lead. I believe they're going to call it a hit by pitch, which means the play is dead. Rochford can't believe it. She was squatting on the ground. And Coach Gumpf, she's arguing that ball did not hit the foot, so they are going to award Rochford first base, which means the runner at third can't advance.
Then we'll see if this ball actually does, in fact, hit Rochford. It's definitely down, hits the ground. And looks like it catches.
It catches the back right leg.
Yeah, it catches the back right leg right on the top of that foot. That's the right call. It's a dead ball. Bases are now loaded.
Boy, that is a huge break for Florida State.
It sure is.
It's not often as a coach that you don't want the hit by pitch. You'd rather take the wild pitch and a run coming home. But base is juiced, full of Irish. Outside corner, strike one to Abby Sweet. Sweet did single back in the fourth. A single here would be massive for Notre Dame.
As a hitter, this is the exact opportunity that you love to be in. Bases loaded, 2 outs. You're on the road. It's a tie game. This is right where you want to be, this big-time moment. You want to take advantage of it.
Quickly down 0-2 as Davis has wasted no time. Gas on the outside corner twice. Clark at third. Grimm at second. Rochford at first. 0-2 pitch. Throws it away. Runner coming home. Notre Dame leads. So the Irish get what they wanted. Davis 0-2 in the count, perhaps just trying a little bit too hard. Shelnut had no shot.
Yeah, with 2 strikes, you're going to want to expand the strike zone because you want to get the hitter to chase something outside. But with a runner at third base and 2 outs in a tie game, you've got to make that pitch just a little bit closer. Give your catcher a chance to make that play. And that one, with Cassidy Davis throwing as hard as she does, Anna Shelnut just doesn't have time to get there.
1-2 pitch, back up the box. 1 run is in. Irish wave in a second. And it's 5-2. 2-run single, Abby Sweet.
How about this Notre Dame team? Look at the momentum shift after that Kate Brooks home run, taking advantage off some great pitches by Cassidy Davis here in the top of the 5th. They have really started to break this game open. They're trusting each other. Their hitting's become contagious, and they've got all the momentum right now. This is a great job by Abby Sweet just to take this pitch right back where it came from, up the middle. She drives it. Huge 2 RBI single from her.
Just her 4th and 5th RBIs of the season. And it may be one of the biggest spots of the year for Notre Dame. What a moment this would be for them on the road against the number 3 team in the country.
I got a feeling if you ask Abby Sweet when she'd want to take her RBIs, you got to think she would take on the road at number 3 Florida State. That's a big-time clutch hit.
Down the third base line, Sherrill going to have to make a quick throw. She does. That is an absolute cannon from the Florida State third baseman to retire the side. The 2 runs in the 4th, and now the Irish put up a 3 spot. Abby Sweet right back up the middle. 2 runs come home. Notre Dame feeling pretty good about itself now. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Can Florida State respond? Back here in Tallahassee. Notre Dame 5 runs on 7 hits, 2 runs on 4 hits for Florida State. You see some fans making the trip down from South Bend, and as I look at the temps in South Bend currently, it's 36 degrees with a high of just 36. And good news for Irish fans, next Saturday the temps back into the 50s, into the high 50s at 57. So I imagine today's weather is considered balmy for anyone from the state of Indiana.
Absolutely.
Yeah, light jacket, that's nothing. Look,
It's nothing,
the jeans got some cuts, some holes in them.
They're enjoying it.
She can't do that in South Bend right now.
Definitely not.
She could, but we would think she's a little nuts.
Yes. And this is a Notre Dame team that spent quite a bit of time in the state of Florida throughout their young season.
Coach Gumpf has to feel good about where her team's at now, the way Peyton Tidd's pitched. She's put up 3 0 spots in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
That's a really big deal for her just to come back. She gave up a 2-run home run to arguably one of the best hitters in the country, Sydney Sherrill, in the 1st inning.
Sherrill to right field, hit it pretty well. Did she get enough? Off the wall. She motors into second base, and Florida State's got their leadoff runner aboard just like that. Excuse me, Mackenzie Herzog.
That's a huge at-bat for Mackenzie Herzog right there, leading off after Notre Dame takes so much momentum in the top of the fifth. You definitely want to get your leadoff runner on, even if it's just a walk or a hit by pitch. But Mackenzie Herzog takes this ball deep to right field, gets a leadoff double, gets momentum back on Florida State's side. You turn the lineup over. Now you've got Callie Harrod coming to the plate, Carson Gordon behind her, Sydney Sherrill behind her. This is exactly where you want to be if you're making a run at a comeback if you're Florida State.
There's a pitch, misses outside. Now here's Callie Harrod, Florida State's 9-hole hitter, gets on. And now the Noles have exactly who they want up. 1-2-3. 2-0. And this is huge for Tid. The cardinal sin of baseball, softball is right after you score, you want to put up a zero spot. You can't give up a run.
Absolutely, and getting the leadoff out is such a big part of that. If you're Tid right here, facing some really tough hitters on the opposing side, continue to trust your stuff, continue to mix speeds, work all parts of the zone. What you don't want to do right here is give up a walk. You're down 3-0. Find your center, find the strike zone, let your defense make a play behind you.
Absolutely, you don't want to put the tying run at the plate in Carson Gordon. 3-0 to Harrod. Does she have the green light? She does not. That catches the strike zone, 3-1. Harrod has been the victim of 2 strikeouts so far today. One swinging in the first, one looking in the second. Tid has had her number.
She has, and if you're Callie Harrod right here, 3-1, you're sitting on 1 pitch. And if you get that 1 pitch, so be it.
Another pitch on the inside corner. Harrod thought she had first.
Harrod there's looking probably for something on the outside corner. She sees it in right away, lets it go. Now it's 3-2. You go into your 2-strike approach. You battle, see as many pitches as you possibly can. Peyton Tidd's working deep into this game. She's thrown 84 pitches so far. Continue to make her throw and make her work.
Full count, outside corner, strike 3 called. Tidd delivers, and there's one out.
How about Peyton Tidd right there? Gives up a leadoff double to the 9-hole hitter in Florida State. And that changeup on the outside part of the plate just catches the corner. It fools Callie Harrod and swings that momentum right back to the Irish.
Now Carson Gordon. Gordon today has walked in both plate appearances. .354 on the year, 7 home runs and 23 RBIs.
You know, Carson Gordon, after drawing 2 walks earlier in her previous at-bats, you got to think that she wants to swing the bat. She's getting a little bit antsy. She wants to hit. She wants to put bat on ball. With a runner in scoring position, there's really no time like the present to do it.
Sydney Sherrill awaits.
And you see
On
Tidd,
deck.
again, working behind in the count, 3-0. She did a really great job to Callie Harrod of coming back to get the strikeout. Got to wonder here if she could do that twice, back-to-back.
Another 3-0. Here's Gordon. That one misses high, and Florida State brings the tying run to the plate. 3rd walk of the day for Gordon. And Sydney Sherrill, the big home run in the first. If she does it again here, we'd be tied at 5. And here is that swing of the bat.
Can't say enough about the raw power of Sydney Sherrill at the plate. You never want to leave anything up in the zone for her. Her hands are so fast and her legs are so powerful that really she makes long balls like that look effortless.
Now, how do you approach Sherrill? She's offering first pitch, wasting no time. I think good pitch, though, over the outside half. You don't want to give her anything she can pull.
Yeah, with Sydney Sherrill, you don't want to bring anything over the white part of the plate, especially her being the tying run at the plate, knowing what she can do, how much power she has. You want to mix speeds. You want to expand the strike zone, see if you can get Sydney Sherrill to get herself out here. And if I'm Peyton Tidd, I'm not too upset. If I'm around the strike zone, but Sydney Sherrill's just laying off of those pitches, I'm not upset with a walk right here to one of the best hitters in the country. I think the goal right here for Peyton Tidd is to get Sydney Sherrill to try to get herself out.
Now Coach Gumpf. Looks like she's making a change of some sort. Brings out the lineup card. Exchanging it with Phillip Friels behind home plate. I don't see any changes being made at the moment. Perhaps Coach was just trying to keep the home plate umpire honest, making sure that Florida State can't make any changes right now.
Yeah, that's probably what the discussion was about.
1-1 pitch. Off the plate, 2-1. Hitters count now for Sherrill, the 2018 third-team All-American. 29 doubles last season. Most in NCAA history for a single season, tied with Nina Lindenberg, who did it back in the 90s with Fresno State. Now 3-1.
What's crazy about this inning and the momentum that Florida State continues to have, their body language on the field, it really hasn't changed much. You see them just cool, confident, calm, and collected. Most teams, when they're down 5-2, tend to put the pressure a little bit on themselves. Florida State's trusting their stuff right now.
It's a big-time pitch. 3-1 hitters count. Outside corner. And now Florida State. And Sydney Sherrill in a full count. Herzog at second. Gordon at first. Swing and a miss. Tidd does it again. 2 outs. Against one of the best hitters in college softball.
You want to talk about a big-time pitch. Peyton Tidd looks like a screwball on the outside part of the plate. She keeps it low at the knees. Sydney Sherrill, there's nothing she can do with that pitch. With 2 strikes, she's got to protect. 8 strikeouts today for the freshman. Her first conference start coming out, just attacking this number 3 ranked Florida State team. Very impressive.
And it comes down to Elizabeth Mason here in the 5th. Maybe a little overeager there, swings at a ball, and it's 0-1. Had a single back in the 3rd.
Elizabeth Mason not unfamiliar with clutch hitting with runners in scoring position. Down 2 strikes now. Again, make Peyton Tidd work. Make her throw a lot more pitches. She's up near 100 pitches so far in this game.
You did see Morgan Ryan was warming up in the pen. I don't know how you take Tidd out of this ball game.
I don't know either. I think with her stuff right now, the way she's throwing, how she's making these Florida State hitters clearly uncomfortable in the box. I think you ride that right arm of hers until you absolutely can't anymore. And her demeanor and her approach since she gave up that 2-run home run to Sherrill in the 1st, it's just been outstanding. The way that she's responded, how resilient she's been in the circle.
Oh, was looking for that inside corner. She has gotten that call so far today a couple times. I saw a couple of Notre Dame infielders starting to walk off. They started back to their dugout.
And that's a really tough pitch to lay off of if you're Elizabeth Mason in the box. Really good discipline there with 2 strikes.
Outside corner, doesn't get that one. Strike zone tightening just a little bit.
And that's another tough pitch to lay off of if you're Elizabeth Mason in the box right now. Peyton Tidd clearly wanted that call. She knows how important this at-bat is. This is a big out for her.
Here we go.
Look for her to come back on the inside part of the plate for a freeze pitch.
2 on, 2 out, strikeout. Tidd K's the side. Flirts with some danger. But how about the rise ball? She goes back. 6th inning. Who doesn't love dogs?
Cat people?
Yeah. People who are wrong. That's the way I put it. I know Adam Amin and Amanda Scarborough love pointing out the pups at every single broadcast that they do. And that's an owner that really cares about that little one. Keeping him warm.
Not keeping him warm out here in this. It depends on your definition of chilly, I guess, weather.
He was shivering. Did you see that?
He's
was
a little
shivering.
cold. He is a little cold.
Yeah, temperatures have dropped here in the northern part of the state of Florida as today. I know we're going to sound whiny. It's 59 degrees, but come on now.
In our defense, the wind's blowing a little bit. You can see the flags moving out in center field.
Arya Masudi, Haley McClenny, and Jordan Giorgio here on the call alongside the rest of our ACC Network Extra crew. Our great producer, Wyatt Dossie, director Kirby Kander, and the rest of our great Seminole production staff.
They're out there braving the quote-unquote cold. We're nice and warm up here in the booth. There's our cameraman right there.
Shout out time.
Absolutely
Is it shout out time? We had to love me some JR right here behind home plate, doing an excellent job. 2-1 pitch. Here we go. Misses now 3-1. Quinn Biggio, the daughter of MLB Hall of Famer Craig Biggio. That is an Irish family, and I don't mean in the literal sense. I mean Notre Dame sense. Connor and Caven, there's strike 2. Her brothers played baseball at Notre Dame. Caven now, of course, in the Toronto Blue Jays minor league system. Her father, Craig, now working for the Houston Astros, special assistant to the general manager. And you gotta love families who bleed a certain school's colors. I know, Haley, in your family, Alabama, the Roll Tide runs deep.
Yes. And for the Biggio family, I mean, I just would love to sit down and have dinner with them because I bet they have so many cool ballpark stories. I know every time my family and I get together, it's always a ballpark story involved. My little brother Walker, who's on the baseball team at Alabama now. Obviously, I played my 4 years at the University of Alabama. It's really cool to have a family just invested completely into one school. Makes for really good stories.
You've had some pretty good stories of your own. You hit pretty well, didn't you?
Tried to.
In your days in the Crimson and White. Now you're playing professionally?
Yes.
With Scrapyard?
Yes, with Scrapyard Fast Pitch, who's done a really great job advancing the professional game, in a sense, as Biggio draws the walk there. But playing with the national team, too, with Team USA has probably been one of the more exciting things that I've done. Been fortunate enough to win 2 world championships, and
Number 14, Peyton.
really excited to get softball back in the Olympics in 2020. I think that's contributed in large part what you see to the growth of this game as a whole.
See Lonnie there. She spent some time as the woman in charge of USSSA. The Pride have actually played some games here at Joanne Graff Field in the past that were nationally televised, and that's really awesome that softball all over is starting to find some airtime, and as we mentioned earlier already, this sport is really taking off.
Absolutely, and you see the college game taking off. I think the next thing to take off with this game is the professional softball aspect of it, whether that be in a league or on tour or whatever the future of that professional sport holds. I think the Olympics being in again is going to help
That's going to be
that
huge.
a lot. And I was actually fortunate enough to play. I was drafted by the USSSA Pride my first year out of college. I was fortunate enough to play for Coach Alameda, Coach Wilson, and Coach Snyder.
Now, what are the chances that I'm sitting next to a potential Olympian?
Hopefully pretty high.
Okay.
Hopefully.
We'll keep
We will
an eye
see.
out for you.
There's still one more tryout to be had, so we will see.
Well, if you hit 447, I promise you, you'll make the team. That's just a hunch. And if not, let me call some lawyers.
That's what to say. Unless everyone else has 500 batting average.
I'm going to go with no. Irish lead 5-2, top of the 6th inning. Biggio down at first after working the walk. Davis misses high, and she struggled a little bit here today. Hasn't had command. Been a little bit wild. And Davis, you essentially have a stallion who throws hard, has all of the bells and whistles you're just trying to confine.
Yeah, absolutely. When you throw as hard as Davis throws, it's very difficult to keep command and keep control of that ball. And again, if you're in the circle right now, you don't want to have those big misses because that gets the umpire expanded in his zone. It's going to get a little bit tighter for you on pitches that you actually need to be called. If you're around the strike zone consistently, you're more liable to get those pitchers' pitches as calls for strikes. You see back-to-back walks here to start the top of the 6th. You got to wonder if Coach Alameda's got somebody in the bullpen or if she's just going to let Cassidy Davis kind of ride this one out and fight through it.
And that's been a question that we've asked Haley is Florida State, you know what you have in Megan King. Who steps up and becomes that number 2? Last season, Florida State essentially had a 1A and a 1B with Kylie Hansen and Megan King.
And Kylie Hansen, just a really tough pitcher to replace. Brought a lot of really veteran leadership as a 5th-year senior graduate transfer. Like you said, it was a 1A and 1B. I mean, you had so many matchups that you could play with. You had two aces, arguably, that you could trust in the circle. And for Florida State, you've got 2 freshmen. You've got Cassie Davis, a junior, but hasn't really worked her way into a starting role just yet. You've got Herzog. You've got Catherine Sandercock, who you saw a little bit of yesterday. Really just about who can step up and really take control of that number 2 position behind Megan King.
There's a swing and a miss, 1-2. And would you say if that's the one knock on Florida State this year, or the one question mark, you know what the batting lineup can do. They're going to give you a shot each night out. You know what Megan King can do, as you see her perched there in the back. Is that Florida State's question mark? Is who else steps up in the circle on the rubber?
Definitely. I would say it's not an issue of depth because they have a ton of arms and they have a ton of talent. It's about who can step up into that. I am a starter. I am the number 2. This is my role on this team. It's about getting that experience. So you're going to have to see all of these younger kids pitching behind Megan King. You're going to have to get them in there, get them experience, because the only way you're going to tell if they're going to be able to step up into that number 2 role is by throwing them. So I'm very interested to see how conference play kind of moves forward for Florida State.
That's a big bounce back. At bat for Cassidy Davis. There's one away.
This is a good pitch on the outside part of the plate. Looks like a screwball with a little bit of a bite down. That's a tough pitch to lay off of, especially as a slapper moving through the box like that. That pitch is moving away from you and breaking down. Really good pitch there by Davis to work around those 2 walks to start the inning.
Now Davis up 0-1 in the count. Here is Allie Wester, still looking for her first base hit of the weekend. 3rd in Notre Dame Fighting Irish history in career hits. The senior has had a magnificent career.
She really has, and she's so good at putting the ball in play, using her speed. You see she's going to slap, she's going to run through the box while she's hitting. Really puts pressure on the left side of your defense, and Callie Harrod and Sydney Sherrill. She's reading both of them to see where they're at, to see where she needs to place the ball to give herself the best position to get 60 feet down the line as quick as she can.
1-1 pitch. Slap to second. There's one. The toss, double play. My goodness, what an outstanding play by the freshman, Morgan Noah. Do it yourself. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Peyton Tidd back in the circle. A packed house here at Joanne Graff Field, Seminole Softball Complex. Noles, 2 runs in the bottom of the 1st. They've been held in check largely by the freshman, Peyton Tidd, the freshman out of Vista, California. How good has she been? As Florida State fans are looking to have something to cheer about here. Haven't had much since Sydney Sherrill sent one deep to center field.
Peyton Tidd's been so impressive. As a freshman coming into a hostile environment like Florida State, on the road, your first conference series, she's done an excellent job of settling in. She's continued to trust her pitches. She's using the off-speed. She's going to the rise ball a lot with 2 strikes. 100 pitches, only 5 hits. Those 2 earned runs came off a Sydney Sherrill home run, but 9 strikeouts against a tough hitting team like Florida State. Very, very impressive by the freshman.
Tidd, as you see, over the century mark in pitches. As here's Danny Morgan. Singled in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd.
Really crucial for Florida State to get this leadoff hitter on right here. Very important in terms of actually scoring a run in the bottom of the 6th inning. You don't want to take this to the bottom of the 7th. You'd be much more comfortable if you could chip away at this lead here in the 6th. You only have 6 outs to work with. You want to make sure you put some pressure on this Notre Dame team early on with no outs.
A close pitch, ball 2 though. As if the Irish can somehow find a W here today, you've got to have the momentum going into the rubber match. Winning game 2's always been huge.
Absolutely.
Hitters count. Morgan. Inside corner. No, she did not get it. 3-1. Tidd has walked 3 Seminole batters so far today, but it hasn't mattered. She has found an answer each and every time. Striking out the side in the 5th. The latest notch on her belt. There's a strike on the inside corner.
That's a good pitch on the inside corner, right about knee height. Another full count that we've seen. We've seen Florida State take Peyton Tidd deep into counts, especially these last few innings. So far, she's done an excellent job of shutting them down with the rise ball with 2 strikes.
Morgan stays alive. I think that might have caught Phillip Friels, and he's going to need a second to walk it off. He gives up the A-OK sign. See where it catches him.
I mean, Danny Morgan takes an absolute hack at this, and it just gets him right there on the stomach. Right in the armpit. Yeah, right in the armpit, actually. Man, that's tough.
You see the padding. That's not protected, that spot specifically.
It is not. He gave the A-OK signal pretty quick. He said, let's get this game rolling. I'm fine. Gotta be tough if you're an umpire behind the plate.
That's a tough job.
Yeah,
Officiating's
really
a tough job. This one hit to second base, fielded cleanly, 1 away. Good bat on ball from Morgan, but an excellent play by Marino at second. And that'll give way to Zoe Casas.
Number 6, Zoe Casas.
Come on, P, here we go, P.
Casas in a 1-0 count.
And Tidd just missed a little bit upstairs. Right there with that pitch. But you see, her command has been so good today. Her misses are not big misses. She's staying around the strike zone. And you've seen a lot of calls that could either go both ways by that home plate umpire.
Now 2-0. Tidd hasn't stayed ahead of hitters all day today, but to her credit, and it's rare for a freshman, continuing after you're down in the count to fight back and make a put-away pitch.
Well, and that's what Coach Gumpf was so high on about Peyton Tidd, is her demeanor in the circle, her command, her competitiveness. She's shown a lot of confidence today. You can't tell body language-wise whether she's down 3-0 or she's up 0-2 in a count. And that's really impressive for a freshman pitcher to have that type of demeanor, to have that type of presence in the circle. Really, the entire team has fed off of that, and I really think that that's what has allowed Notre Dame to take this lead, to get some momentum starting in the 4th inning, continuing in the 5th inning. They've really relied on this freshman, and they've used her to kind of put themselves in a really good position here heading into the 6th and into the 7th inning of this ballgame.
Notre Dame winners of 9 in a row before yesterday's loss. Now 9 of their last 10, looking to make it 10 of their last 11. 2-2 count from Tidd to Casas. Right back up the middle, off the glove of Biggio, and that'll be a base hit for the Seminoles. They've got a runner on here in the 6th.
Looks like this is an outside drop ball from Peyton Tidd. Just leaves it up just a little bit. Zoe Casas gets her hands extended, drives that ball the opposite way, and just a little too hot to handle over there for Biggio at shortstop.
Number 70, Cassidy Davis.
Looking into the pen, Morgan Ryan has stopped warming up. The Irish will ride Tidd for now. She has been outstanding so far today. Inside corner, and that's not a strike to Davis. Seems like the zone's changed a little bit, as it typically does throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, it looks like he's squeezing the outside parts of the plate and the inside parts of the plate a little bit, getting a little bit more narrow with his strike zone. And Florida State's done an excellent job, really. They're not chasing a lot of pitches. We've seen them chase rise balls up in the zone, but really that's only been with 2 strikes. They're not really getting outside of themselves early on in the count. They're getting ahead a lot. Peyton Tidd is finding herself in a lot of 2-0, 3-0, 2-1 type of holes. Now all Florida State has to do is take advantage of that, just like Zoe Casas did in her last at bat.
There's the inside corner.
And looks like we've got an illegal pitch call down there by the first base umpire. And Deanna Gumpf is going to talk things over. I believe that's the first illegal pitch that we've seen called today.
First base ump is David Reiniger. So I believe that is the call. You nailed it, Haley. So the count now moves to 3-0.
And Peyton Tidd, she's been in this situation plenty of times this game already. We saw her have a great comeback in Callie Harrod's at bat from a 3-0 count to getting a strikeout. See if she can do the same against Davis here.
There's a strike, 3-1.
And you know Cassidy Davis is really excited to be hitting right now. Not the best couple of innings that she's thrown in the circle. Gotta think she wants to use her bat. It's gonna get her team back in this ballgame.
Hitters count. Davis watches that one low. The Bulls have something working here. We've mentioned it throughout the weekend. Florida State strikes very quickly. 1 through 9 in the order are capable of damaging anybody in the circle. So you're always kind of walking on thin ice. And Tidd right now, with runners on first and second, and Anna Shellnut at the plate.
Now you've got Anna Shellnut coming up to the plate. Has shown time and time again that she can perform in clutch situations. You got to think, this is not a normal 8-hole hitter right now. You see her stat line there, 275, 4 home runs. She loves being in this kind of situation, down in the game. Teams are relying on her bat. She's proven it time and time again, and there's no time like right now that Florida State needs her.
Anna Shellnut has provided enough moments to last a lifetime. Can she provide one more here on this Saturday against Notre Dame? That pitch was down the middle, but a little high, and it's 2-0. And now you see Tidd walking around trying to gather herself to slow the game down. and keep her composure.
And it seems like she's a little bit frustrated with the strike zone. You know she wants to get ahead. She's not missing by much. But again, like you said, just keep your calm, keep your composure, continue to attack these Florida State hitters.
There's the inside corner. That is a big strike. And it's 2-1. And that pitch count's getting up there a little bit. Now at 120. 2-1 pitch. Now 3-1. And Tidd's going to have to work some magic like she did in the 5th, yet again here in the 6th. The Seminoles just keep coming.
And that's been Florida State's bread and butter of this run that we've seen from last year, making that postseason run, to this year, keeping that momentum. They are never out of a game. They come at you at bat after at bat after at bat, and their hitting is contagious. We've seen it time and time again. It's very rarely that you only see one runner on. They do a great job of getting a walk, getting a single, getting a double, and then they break it open with the long ball.
Hitters count. Shellnut watches it right down the middle, 3-2. A pressure pitch coming for Peyton Tidd. Zoe Casas at second. Cassidy Davis at first. The Seminole catcher at the dish. And a full count with one away. It'll remain full. Great pitch from Tidd. Shellnut, excellent job of just staying alive.
That's a good job right there by Anna Shellnut. She's got a couple of calls on the inside part of the plate. Pitches that she really didn't want to swing at. Does a good job of fouling that off, getting to the next pitch, and again, getting that pitch count up of Peyton Tidd.
So we do it again. 2 on for Shellnut. And again, we foul it back. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming. Shellnut today struck out in the 2nd, flew out in the 4th, but hit the ball pretty hard her last time up.
You can tell her timing is really good in the box right now. She looks comfortable. Fouling off some pitches, she's battling in there.
That one gets away. It'll be ball 4. Both runners would have advanced anyway. And now the bases are juiced. Now a mound visit at the rubber in the circle. Coach Gumpf just trying to calm her freshman down. This is the biggest moment of the game for Peyton Tidd.
And you got to think that Coach Gumpf right here is just telling her, hey, let's get ahead on these batters. You've gotten yourself behind in almost every hitter, every at-bat that you've had so far this inning. Let's work to get ahead. Throw a first pitch strike, stay around the zone. You're dealing with your 9-hole hitter who's also a freshman in Mackenzie Herzog. Trust your defense. Give the defense a chance to make a play, maybe potentially get a double play to get out of this inning. But you definitely don't want anything to get into the gaps or get over the outfielder's head. So stay around the zone, continue to trust your stuff, but really make sure that you're working ahead in the count and not putting yourself in another difficult position, down 2-0, down 3-0.
Mackenzie Herzog at the plate. She saw Tidd really well in her last at-bat. Missed a home run by a couple of feet off the wall and right. A home run here would send the Seminole crowd into a frenzy.
You can tell these fans are starting to get a little bit more excited, starting to pick up some volume here in the stands.
That pitch misses outside, 1-0. Freshman on freshman action. Bases full of Seminoles. Swing and a miss. Oh, that is a beautiful changeup. Herzog was looking for some heat to drive
I love that pitch call there by the Notre Dame staff. You know Mackenzie Herzog wants to get something that she can drive. You know she's probably a little bit anxious in the box right now with bases loaded, down by 3.
1-1 hit to short, could be 2. The flip, not in time to get 2. That is still a big out as a Seminole run comes home. It's 5-3. But damage was averted. Major damage, so to speak. The Noles do cut the lead to 2.
And if you're Peyton Tidd right there, obviously you would want to strike out. I think that's your best case scenario right there. But to be able to get an out, keep another runner, potentially the tying run off out of scoring position, that's a really big deal. Now you've got 2 outs, you've got runners on the corners, you've got Callie Harrod, who you've thrown really well against today. Keep doing what you've been doing, get out of this inning with minimal damage, and hopefully allow your offense to put up some more insurance runs in the top of the 7th.
So Cassidy Davis at third, Mackenzie Herzog at first. Here's Harrod. That misses inside. 1-0. Nice job there by Biggio and Marino, though, of making sure they got at least 1 out. That could have been disastrous if you don't field that cleanly.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know you have speed at the plate, too, with Herzog. Knowing the double play as a slapper, you're probably not going to get it, so let's make sure that we secure that out at second base.
1-0 pitch. Outside corner. Got it, 1-1. A lot of groans from the Garnet and Gold faithful.
They're not biased.
Tense moments in Tallahassee. Alumni weekend. Packed house. 2 of the ACC's best going at it. Down the third baseline, foul.
It's a nice play over there by Travis Wilson.
Bare hand. He'll be the first to tell you how successful he was in the minor leagues.
He sure will. He's also rocking that throwback coaching jersey as well.
Of course, Travis from New Zealand. His hometown was actually where, as this one's popped fouling out of play, where some of the sad news from this week came out. And I know his thoughts are back home, as that entire country has had their world shocked.
Absolutely, you know that's heavy on his heart. Especially today. Had Ellie Cooper, who also plays for the New Zealand national team, an alumni of Florida State. She's not here today. She coaches at East Carolina, but a lot of New Zealand ties to this Florida State program.
Runner going. Delayed steal. Florida State opted not to bring Cassidy Davis home. But now the tying run is at second. So Herzog down at second. Davis at third. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Big moment here for the senior. Nearly got her to swing and miss again. Harrod, though, able to keep her hands back and stay alive.
Harrod's an excellent job of making an adjustment. Her first 3 at-bats obviously have not gone the way that she wanted them to go, but she's battling these pitches now in this at-bat that she swung and missed on in her previous at-bats. She's doing an excellent job continuing to fight.
Harrod to left field. Got under it just a little bit. That catch is made. Didn't miss by much. But Wester squeezes it. Success or not. Cassidy Davis remains in the circle at Joanne Graff Field. We've been treated to an excellent ball game here today. The Irish have stormed back. Down 2-0 with a couple of big innings in the 4th and the 5th. Seminoles able to get 1 back in the bottom of the 6th. It's been a mixture of garnet and green all around the complex here today. Cassidy Davis back out for her 3rd inning of work. And this will be 2-3-4 for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame hitters are going to want to get some momentum, get some insurance runs back for Peyton Tidd in the bottom of the 7th. This is a really big inning for them to see if they can get some momentum, get some more insurance runs. They know Peyton Tidd is starting to get higher in that pitch count. Definitely want to make her feel as confident as possible going out there for the bottom of the 7th.
Right back to Davis. Her throw is in time, and there's one away. 1 up, 1 down for the junior.
Number 16, Kate Brooks.
And that'll give way to Kate Brooks. Her 2-run blast in the 4th tied the game at 2. She walked in the 5th on an intentional walk by the Knowles. And you know Davis will pitch carefully.
Absolutely, you don't want to give Kate Brooks anything that she can get her hands extended on. Davis also, we've talked about the velocity that she throws with.
Noah trips over the ball and her own feet, and that should be an infield single, I think, for Brooks. Not an easy play, and it will go down as the 8th hit for Notre Dame today.
Definitely not an easy play there to make by Morgan Noah. I think she just gets caught at her feet just a little bit. Couldn't quite get her glove turned over to that backhand. Very tough play to make.
Now Rochford. Noah again going to be tested. Opts to go for just 1. And Gordon trying to keep Brooks honest at second, making sure she didn't round the bag.
Brooks' back was actually turned to Carson Gordon at that time, so if she would have rounded at any point, there's a good chance that Callie Harrod would have had an opportunity to tag her out, so that's not a bad play right there by Gordon. Senior to senior throwing just to keep Brooks honest.
Here's Abby Sweet, who's had arguably the biggest swing of the afternoon. She sends this one to right field. She hit it well over the head of Mason. Another run will score. Notre Dame gets the run right back, and they lead 6-3. Abby Sweet does it again.
Abby Sweet has been so clutch today for Notre Dame. 2 RBI single in the 1st, and she gets this pitch on the outside part of the plate. It's up in the zone. She gets her hands extended, gets that barrel on the ball. Cassie Davis, with as hard as she throws, provides a little bit extra power to that. And Sweet's feeling pretty sweet.
Another hard hit up the middle. They'll wave the runner home. Throw to the plate will be cut off. 7-3 Irish. Bonamy comes through, and Notre Dame feeling really good now. They have had no problems against Cassidy Davis in the circle.
They haven't. They've really adjusted well timing-wise. They're getting their front foot down. They're on time with Cassidy Davis's pitches. And I think Davis is just missing a little bit too much over the white part of the plate right now. Notre Dame's doing a great job of taking advantage of that. But they have been very impressive off of Davis thus far.
That is the 10th hit of the game for Notre Dame. Deanna Gumpf and her Irish squad have come in today. They've flushed out yesterday. 11-1 loss in 5 innings. It can be rattling, especially on the road against the defending national champions. But give Notre Dame all the credit in the world. They got down 2-0 early today, and they just kept fighting.
Arguably, I think that's been one of the most impressive things that we've seen from this Notre Dame team. Could have been very easy to just roll over after that 11-1 loss yesterday, but they've come out swinging. Literally, they're fighting. They're resilient in the box. Like you said, down 2-0, the ability to fight back, crawl back, get some momentum, get the bats going, and using Peyton Tidd in the circle as well.
Biggio watches a strike. And the Irish have done the damage this inning with 2 outs. A couple of 2-out knocks. They've given them 2 insurance runs. And they have a chance for more.
And to win a ball game, there's 3 things you need. You need great pitching, which arguably you've gotten from Peyton Tidd in the circle outside of that Sydney Sherrill home run in the bottom of the 1st. You need great defense. You see 0 errors out there on the scoreboard, so they've checked that off. And you need timely hits. That's going to come with runners in scoring position. We've seen Abby Sweet do it twice. You've seen MK Bonamy do it just there. they've gotten the hits when it's counted the most. They've come up clutch, and that's why you see the score differential as what it is.
Davis able to retire the final batter to give Florida State one more opportunity. The Irish. 7 runs, 10 hits for Notre Dame. And I think what'll make Coach Gumpf happiest of all, 0 errors. Florida State just 3 runs on 6 hits. They've played pretty flawless in the field as well. And Peyton Tidd coming back out to try and finish this thing off. Can she go a complete game in Tallahassee against the number 3 team in the country who's only lost twice all season against one of the best lineups, arguably the best lineup in college softball? She's got 9 strikeouts and has a chance to put another cap in a big series of caps for Notre Dame this season against top 10 teams.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Coach Gumpf is letting her work through this. Her pitch count is a little bit up there at 135 pitches, but she's gotten herself out of a lot of jams, and I think it's really her game to win or lose at this point. She's thrown so well, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, only 3 earned runs, and like you said, 9 strikeouts.
3 walks today for Gordon. Now, Tidd has struggled a little bit the last 2 innings with putting runners on base. She's been able to work out of it both times. She's now 1-1 to Gordon.
Florida State right here, if you want to get back in this ball game, you want to make this competitive, you got to like the spot that you're in your lineup right now. You've got the 2-hole Carson Gordon. Sid Sherrill is right behind her, Elizabeth Mason in the 4 spot. You're in a good spot in the lineup. You just need to chip away, get some runners on base, and put some pressure on Notre Dame.
And the leadoff runner is always huge to start off any inning. Typically when leadoff runners get on, they usually come around to score. And right now, Carson Gordon down 1-2 to Tidd. Tries to get Gordon to chase. The senior does not. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
When you're down by multiple runs in the bottom of the 7th inning, your goal as an offense should just be to get the tying run to the plate. See as many pitches as you can, try to rattle off a walk, a single. If you're Carson Gordon right here, a home run, it's just 7-4. You want to do a good job of getting momentum that you can keep. Get a single, get a double, get a walk, whatever it may be, just to continue to pass the bat throughout the lineup, get as many people to the plate as possible to try to fight it out in the bottom of the 7th.
Senior at the plate, freshman in the circle. A full count to Carson Gordon. Gordon gets under this one. Will it stay in play? Calling it off was Biggio. She makes the grab. About a step in foul territory, and there's one away. That's a huge first out.
That's huge right there for Peyton Tidd, getting the leadoff out. The momentum is with Notre Dame right now. They're 2 outs away from a really impressive victory here at Joanne Graff Field. Relying on a freshman in the circle. That's big time from Tidd.
Now Sherrill offers at the first pitch. Hits it really hard, but foul. And it's 0-1.
And you see Coach Alameda down there. She's coaching first base, but she's playing a shallow right field out there now, knowing the power that Sydney Sherrill has, the ability to turn on that ball. Got to know Coach's head's on a swivel definitely down that right field line.
Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Sherrill homered back in the bottom of the first, her first plate appearance of this afternoon. Hit it a long way to dead center.
You notice how far she is off the plate here in the box. Probably contributing to why Notre Dame continues to go to that outside corner. Very difficult as a hitter if you're hitting off of the plate like that to get your hands to that outside pitch. And you see Sherrill moving a little bit closer to the plate now with 2 strikes, got a battle.
1-2. This is outside, 2-2. And when a hitter does that, you have to think that's because their approach is to try and go the other way.
Right.
More plate coverage of the outside corner if they can get it.
Absolutely.
And hit it to left and left center. Two-two pitch coming to Sydney Sherrill. Does go the other way and fouls it off.
Looks like we had a solid effort on that foul ball. Over there by a fan on the hill.
It's either flight or fight mode.
Absolutely.
Those are your two options when a foul ball is coming your way. Back into the net, it remains at 2-2.
This is a really good at-bat by Sydney Sherrill. She's continuing to foul off that outside pitch, trying to get something a little bit more over the wide of the plate, waiting on Peyton Tidd to make a mistake. It's 2-2. Fouling off those pitches that she doesn't want until she gets something that she likes, that she feels like she could take advantage of.
We do it again. Full count. Back-to-back full counts now worked by Seminole hitters.
And a lot we've seen in this game, pitch calling-wise. Peyton Tidd's gone outside, outside, outside with a freeze pitch on the end or a rise ball on the inner half of the plate. With the power that Sydney Sherrill has, you got to think that they're probably second-guessing that at this point. Don't want to give her something that she can drive.
Drives this to left field. Wester plays it well. What a grab! Two away. Allie Wester flashed the glove.
We've talked about the speed of Allie Wester at the plate, but how about the speed out there on defense? Peyton Tidd absolutely loving that from her senior left fielder. Allie Wester's trying to make Sports Center full extension. She goes down the line, makes this play, and Peyton Tidd absolutely loves it. Using that defense. Now Notre Dame is 1 out away from upsetting the Seminoles.
And give the Irish credit. They played that well. Wester was shaded towards the foul line. Not sure if that would have stayed fair. It looked very close to being foul. I'm not quite sure if that would have landed where it would have landed. That is 2 outs. And Allie Wester, a senior who's probably made that type of catch many times in her career.
Yeah, that's a big-time play.
This ball is crushed by Mason. And it's gone. So the Noles get one back. Wester gave it a good try. Did a good job of deking the Seminoles of just kind of nonchalantly moving back to the wall, but Mason has another bomb.
Yeah, that one just had a little bit too much on it for Wester to make a play. Elizabeth Mason, we've talked about it time and time again. Florida State's got a ton of power throughout their lineup. And that's a great at-bat there by Elizabeth Mason. You got 2 outs, you're in the bottom of the 7th, you're down by 4 runs. Why not take a big swing? This pitch is up in the zone. It's a rise ball that Elizabeth Mason just breaks the spin of. She gets her hands out in front. That barrel's out in front, breaking that spin of that ball. Then she takes it deep.
So now Danny Morgan steps in. Strike on the outside corner. Can Morgan give the Seminoles some 2-out magic? The tying run is in the hole. 1-1. After Morgan, it'll be Zoe Casas and Cassidy Davis. Now the Noles down to their final strike. You gotta love softball and the energy in those dugouts.
We've talked about softball being just a fun game for people to watch, and the dugout I think is what makes the fans just absolutely love coming to the ballpark, to see how much these girls love the game. They love to compete. Not only is their play impressive, but the way that they carry themselves off the field is also impressive as well.
You see the bench mob in college basketball. You've got a bench mob essentially for 7 innings every single night in softball.
Yes, absolutely. And you can see this Notre Dame team right now, they know that they've got an upset brewing. They're excited about it. And they're really all invested right now in Peyton Tidd in the circle.
Coach Gumpf, when we asked her, what do you need to see this weekend? She just kind of shrugged her shoulders and said, just play good softball. I'd love to win all 3, but we could win none, and I'd still feel good if we played well. But she's going to feel really great if she can get this into a rubber match.
Absolutely.
Morgan swings and drives this one to left. That one drifts foul. The Seminole lineup's not going to make it an easy 1-2-3 inning, though.
Absolutely not. We've talked about resiliency with both sides today. You've seen the fight from Florida State and from Notre Dame. This game's gone back and forth, momentum-wise. When you've got a tough-hitting team like Florida State, you definitely know they're not going down without a fight.
Up the middle, base hit. The Seminoles aren't done yet.
Danny Morgan does a great job. She sees a lot of pitches at bat. She's fighting pitches off, fouling pitches off. She finally gets something that she likes, that Peyton Tidd just leaves a little bit too over the middle of the plate. And Danny Morgan rips it right back up the middle. Florida State still alive. Tying runs now on deck with Zoe Casas up to bat.
Casas to right field, hit it on a line, but right at Bezos. That'll do it. Notre Dame finishes it off. 7-4 victory.